So where did I find this information? Well, it first reported from Screamscape, who said according to a few messages sent their way, they were told there is some kind of large legal land clearing taking place at Silver Dollar City. Given the timeline, this clearly isn't something in the works for 2021, but could be the first hint of what the park may have planned for 2022. There's told that the large clearing has been made somewhere behind the new Mystic River Falls and Fireman's Landing areas that can be seen from the road as you pass the park back there. According to one post, there is an area where there appears to be digging down deep for something, which would seem and indicate that this could be some kind of brand new attraction. And they say if anyone knows more or has a chance to pass by and snap a few photos, they would love to see them for your future update. And if you're travelling around the park and you see any photos, send it in to us as well. Not just Screamscape, because they do wonderful stuff. Send it in to us as well, because, you know, we'd like to see them as well as Screamscape and other news sources as well. But massive shout out to Screamscape for reporting this rumour, because now we're going to take a look at the site in question behind Mystic River Falls and the Fireman's Landing area. There it is, guys, on your screen right about now. Fan-dabby-dozy, the image in question, the site in question, behind Fireman's Landing, behind Mystic River Falls, round the side of the road. It's a big site. You got to think there's an old, tiring, abandoned maintenance area, some tree work down the left. So it's a decent sized site of development and potential creative investment, and there's a real opportunity here to invest in a brand new roller coaster for the families, because you've got to think the last thrill coaster, the last coaster was a thrill coaster, and before that it was a thrill coaster, and before that it was a thrill coaster, and before that it was a family coaster. The last family coaster was technically 2006, which is Grand Expedition Coaster, and that's technically a kids coaster. If you look at the rest of the family coasters in the park, Fire in the Hole, that's an enclosed dart ride coaster, that's for families, that was back in 1972. I would call Powder Keg an extreme coaster, just because I feel like even though there's no inversions, it is still a thrilling launch coaster. So I'd call Powder Keg a thrill coaster, not an extreme coaster, but a thrill coaster. So in terms of family thrills, the last one we're looking at here is probably the Grand Exposition Coaster, which is 2006. So, you know, and if we're talking somewhat thrill level, if we're looking at family thrill here, we're looking at probably, maybe Powder Keg could be counted as that. So if we're looking at specific types of coasters here, one coaster type they do not have is a inverted coaster or a suspended coaster. Now, obviously we're not talking Bolger and Mabyard. That is not the demographic we're talking about with this. I think we could be looking at a suspender family coaster, or maybe they go down the dual route, what Tripstrill did. They brought in a suspended thrill coaster with a couple of inversions and a family boomerang as a dual coaster concept as part of this new area. Now, looking at the site again, if you keep looking at the site, I reckon you could fit a nice suspender family coaster and a family boomerang and have it intertwining, and also have it it becomes like a nice entrance to the area of expansion as well, because you can have like nice interaction over the entranceway of this little area opening. So you know, I think two coasters would be amazing: a suspender family coaster or a suspender thrill coaster and a family boomerang. So you could have the suspender family and the family boomerang, or you could have the suspender thrill and the family boomerang. Or if you wanted to, you could do a dual family boomerang coaster, a dueling Vekoma family boomerang, because, you know, you look at there's a zoo in Holland, and they opened a dueling family boomerang. It's called Tweesdrid, and it's at Wildlands Adventure Zoo MN in MN Holland, and it's a custom family boomerang. So one side is Duurzame Landbouw, which is Dutch for sustainable agriculture, and you got Eerlijk Minbouw, which is Dutch for honest mining. So they've got two different sides, part of the Serenga themed area to savanna and desert habits, and it's basically two intertwining boomerang family coasters that duel. So, you know, they both leave at different points of the station, they intertwine with each other, they duel with each other. It'll be a wonderful family coaster for the park, and I think that's the next investment we're looking at here in terms of coasters. We're looking at a family thrill coaster. Nothing too extreme, just something good for the whole family. I think that's what we're looking at with this investment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we look at either a suspended family coaster or a suspended thrill coaster if they wanted to put something with inversions on. Maybe even just one inversion would be nice. Or you could even do the suspended thrill coaster with no inversions. There is that option to do it with no inversions and have the suspended thrill coaster option. So they could do that maybe. But maybe suspend a family or suspend a thrill or a family boomerang or a dueling family boomerang. Or if they're not going to go with the dueling one and they might do a couple of coasters, I could see them intertwining the suspended family or suspended thrill with the family boomerang and have it nice intertwining with each other and nicely themed stations and sort of have it themed to Fireman's Landing. So 2 new themes into the Fireman's Landing expansion and have it both themed to that particular Fireman's Landing area and have it intertwining. Maybe there's one storyline for the expansion of the whole area. So this area of expansion has one new storyline that links to Fireman's Landing and the 2 coasters are relatable to this expansion area storyline. So I know Silver Dollar City can do theming and storylining really, really well. Look at Time Traveller, look at Outlaw Run, loads of different theming items. Look all around the rest of the park at the other coasters and attractions as well. Fire in the Hole, the classic dart ride coaster from 1972. They can do theming along with storytelling really, really well. And there's a real opportunity to do that. Now, of course, we can't just look at roller coasters. We have to look at other attractions as well. They already added Mystic River Falls, which is a water ride. So we're not looking at a water ride. I mean, a Mack Power Splash would be lovely at this park, but I don't think we're looking at a water ride here. I don't think so. I think that if it was going to be a Mack Power Splash, I think I would be down for that anyway, because it's a wonderful investment for the park. Maybe they go with the looping one, maybe one with a vertical looping, but probably not. They'll go with the normal size one, maybe a custom layout, make it longer than the usual ones. But what I'd like to see in terms of non-coaster additions, and not maybe water rides, because obviously they've got Mystic River Falls now, I'd like to see a new dart ride. Now, I'd like to see a massive building back there, like a grand fire hall or something, or themed to a building where you need to put out a fire. And I'd like to see the guests become firefighters, and I'd like to see them maybe have like, well, not water guns, but like, it's like an interactive tracked dart ride, and you have like guns, and it will project water when you fire. So the projections work with the interaction with what the guests are doing at that time. So if they press to shoot it, the interaction can sense that and knows that, and the projections know that, and it will fire water to the screen. So something like an interactive dart ride. You look at Ninjago dart rides at the Legoland parks, you look at what they do with the interactive touching with the hand and the firing by yourself, and the guests doing all the interactive technology experience working. So you see what the guests do with the Ninjago attraction. That could work with like fireman's guns, like spray guns to put out fires, and you become the firefighter. So it's a nice family interactive dart ride experience if they build a massive building behind the main one. And overall, I think there's some real potential here with Fireman's Landing. If it's not going to be part of Fireman's Landing, I could see this being its own brand new area, and this links back to the Vekoma Suspended Family / Thrill Coaster and the Vekoma Family Boomerang as a joint package. I'd like to see that maybe in its own themed area, have some nice theming around it, maybe a family ride in that bottom corner. You can see where the name Firefall is on Google Maps. Maybe if you look in that bottom corner, maybe they could put like a family ride or two in there. Maybe they could look at a Zampella Discovery Revolution. Maybe something like that would be good at the park. Maybe some flying... I think they've got a pair of flying scooters, so I don't think they'll go for flying scooters. If not, they'd like to get them. Maybe a Zampella Disco Coaster would be lovely, sort of stretched across that way. So again, where that corner is, opposite where the Firefall name is on Google Maps. so stretching from there to the opposite side, nearest to the edge of the image up top. Maybe Zampella Disco stretching across there, and then the rest of the area is used for theming, and also the two Suspender Family / Thrill Coaster and Family Boomerang intertwining coaster. So again, there's real possibilities here, but I think they need to think cleverly about this. But I definitely think that what we're looking at here is a family thrill investment, whether it's coaster or non-coaster. I think we're looking at families or family thrill in 2022 at Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. But I think whatever Silver Dollar City is adding in this site, if it is going in this site, I reckon we're going to look for a very, very exciting year at this park next year. So as you can see on your screen right about now, Fandabby Dozy is the current site fence. Now, of course, it's not obviously you can't see into the site, however, it's been fenced off to the public. This is around the Fireman's Landing area of the theme park. It is quite a large area, I'm not going to lie to you guys here. So it's going to be very exciting to see the progress on this new area, well, the area in question in terms of the development that's going to be going down there. I do believe it's for 2022, even though it's not official yet. I do believe this will be for 2022, and I'm very, very excited for this, and I really can't wait to see what's going to happen. So let's have a look at the Google Maps image of the site in question. On your screen now, Fandabby Dozy is the Google Maps version of the site in question. So it's quite a big site. Obviously, that extended plot of land is obviously, you know, I believe it will be part of the site. We don't know that for sure. That's why it's an extensional plot of land. But if that is not part of it, then we are just looking at this outskirt area. It's quite a crescent type site, a crescental site. I think that's the word. It might be a made up word, but if I have, then I might be the next Charles Dickens or Lewis Carroll, whoever his name is. But anyway, obviously, you know, there's a couple of coasters that you could put on that site. Obviously, we spoke about in the previous video, about a month ago, about like a Fire Chaser Express, like a Gerstlauer family multi-launch coaster, with some special elements and some effects and theming. And especially think to Fireman's Landing. You look at Fire Chaser Express at Dollywood, and you think of the theming of that. And there's really a massive opportunity to, you know, incorporate the Fireman theme into the Fireman's Landing area. And I do believe this will be an expansion of the Fireman's Landing area currently, and that's why it's behind the current Fireman's Landing area. But now I'm going to share my predictions in general, so speaking more about the Fire Chaser Express prediction, and also about a different prediction by a manufacturer starting with the letter G. You join the dots in the comments. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages. That is a looking at the site in question in two different angles, one from Reddit, from the fence side of things, and one Google Maps image. Look at the entire site in question. As you can see, it's a very large site, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, and it's going to be very interesting to see the progress of this. And you'll have noticed, even though it's just 2 videos right now, we've started the official playlist for the new project, whatever the new project is. We don't know what it is yet, but basically we've got the new attraction playlist for Silver Dollar City. 2022 is the year I'm predicting this, so go check out the playlist. It is tagged in at the end of the video during the rolling credits, and you can go check that out. But of course I do have a few predictions as to where this, in my opinion, this could go. Obviously, what you could do is join the entire site up with one massive building and create like an interactive dart ride. That for me is the least likely prediction at this very early stage. I'm going more along the lines of a roller coaster. Now, there is 2 different routes you could go down. You could go down Family, or you could go down Thrill Seeker. Family is the Fire Chaser Express, and the reason why I said yet again I'll go with that prediction is because, you know, you see Fire Chaser Express at the sister park Dollywood, owned by the same company. You know, it's a very natural step to have its own version in that state in America. Now, the other version, the Thrill version, is the Gerstlauer project. Now, we spoke about in a very weird, energetic video. We spoke in that video a little bit, in that 3-minute video, about there's a new project that Gerstlauer are going to be building. I am going to share with you the official statement from the website Ride Entertainment, and it says, and I quote, Gerstlauer Amusement Ride, GmbH, a proud partner of Ride Entertainment, has signed an agreement to manufacture a new record-breaking roller coaster for a yet-to-be-named client in the United States. The attraction, which is scheduled to open in May of 2022, will be formally announced within the next few months. Working with Gerstlauer for over 25 years, I'm always astounded by the creativity and ability to innovate no matter what the project is. It's no different with the custom layout and challenging location for this coaster, which is sure to be a showcase attraction known around the world. This is from the CEO of Ride Entertainment, Ed Hiller. So this got me thinking, what about a custom layout in that crescent-type site at Silver Dollar City, a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster, a record-breaking, one-of-a-kind coaster? Now, we've heard rumours about this Gerstlauer coaster. Will it break the inversion record? Will it break a different record? Will it just be a record-breaking coaster for that state, or just America alone? Well, I personally believe that the Gerstlauer project, the Infinity coaster in my opinion, I think it will be, I think Silver Dollar City is in line to be one of the parks in question to receive this. If it isn't, then I'd go with the Fire Chaser Express kind of coaster. But us in the coaster community, we always love to be surprised. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a gut feeling it might be none of my predictions, because sometimes, or most of the time, or nearly all the time, it usually isn't. But I definitely believe that this could definitely be one of those times. So it could be the Fire Chaser Express coaster, it could be the Gerstlauer project, it could be anything at this stage. So we just have to keep our eyes on it, keep our eyes peeled all the way throughout the rest of this season and going into 2022. So Midwest Info Guide dropped a bombshell on Reddit stating that ground clearing is underway for an RMC indoor powered coaster that would open in 2023. This will be a major project report, as it will be replacing, in quotations, though in a new location, a beloved current ride, and that is of course Fire in the Hole. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, you sat there at home, you're watching this video and you're wondering, what is Fire in the Hole? Well, I'll tell you. It's a dark enclosed coaster that opened back in 1972. It's had a long electrical powered incline through several different scenes, followed by a series of 3 drops with power sections in them. While the power sections are typical of a powered roller coaster and or dart ride, it is 3 drops that allow this to be considered a roller coaster. Now, this is not replacing this particular location. This is going to be just replacing the type of ride in the lineup, so it will be a dark coaster. Now, this is being located in a new build over by Fireman's Landing in the current Shad's parking lot, the current one beyond Saving, unfortunately. Now, obviously, this is in its own building, and Fire in the Hole is expected to retire when the new attraction debuts, citing disrepair/age. Now, nothing has been confirmed officially from the park until it happens. However, it's very interesting that Midwest Info Guide have released this information live on Reddit. Now, I'd be very interested to see exactly what happens with this development, but nevertheless, let's share my thoughts on this development. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages. That is the rumour from Silver Dollar City, a ROC indoor powered coaster for 2023 in a brand new building on the old Shad's parking lot, as the name, which is the one near Fireman's Landing. That's the big piece of land that we saw around the back of Fireman's Landing. That's a very interesting plot of land right there. And we've heard that RMC, from Midwest Info Guide, we've heard that RMC are developing a new style of train for an indoor power coaster. Now, like we said, it's not going to be replacing the location of Fire in the Hole. However, when the new attraction is expected to open in 2023, it's expected to fill the void that will be left by Fire in the Hole, as that attraction will retire in 2023 after, get this, just over 50 years of service. And you know what? I think 2022, they'll announce on the 50th anniversary of the ride that it will close. I think that's, if this rumour is true, here is how I see things going. over the end of this year and the start of next year, they're going to construct the building or start to construct the building, maybe bring the track and the train on sites ready to get inside the building. But what I think we'll see in 2022, sometime between summer and autumn and going into winter, is in the 50th anniversary of Fire in the Hole, we are going to see the ride announced to close forever. And then by 2023, when Fire in the Hole is not operating, they're going to debut this new coaster. Now, it should be interesting to see exactly the story or the theme or, you know, what kind of name they're going to choose for this potential project. I think those questions are still yet to be answered. I think 2022 is the year we'll get those answers. So comment down below what you think about this, because I'm loving this potential idea. I think this could be a wonderful idea for the park. So the latest construction is underway and will go vertical once the season is wrapped up, weather permitting. Presently the focus is on relocating the utilities out of the side, and the current rumour still stands as Fire in the Hole 2.0 in the form of an RMC powered coaster. Now construction is well underway on the site for the Fire in the Hole 2.0, focusing on relocating utilities, vertical construction starting after the season ends. That was basically what was repeated in the Reddit post. There was stuff from the forum, stuff from the Reddit post that are cross-referencing each other. Now from the latest construction you can start to see diggers on site, you can see trucks on site, you can see craneage on site, you can start to see the scoopers scooping up the mud. It's getting the site all ready and prepared, and it's only a matter of time now before we start to see vertical construction once the season ends. Now before we talk about the project in question, I'm going to share my thoughts on the latest construction. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, Midwest info guides, construction pictures on Reddit, shared in the forums. Massive shout out to Midwest info guide for those pictures. Credit goes to him for all of them pictures on site. Now obviously Silver Dollar City are constructing a huge project here, and the current rumour, as said before, stands as follows: an RMC indoor powered coaster to replace Fire in the Hole in the lineup, not the site, but in the lineup, so that then they can remove Fire in the Hole and replace it with something else, whether that's an outdoor coaster, and probably not an indoor coaster because that's what the rumoured new project's going to be, but it's possibly a indoor dart ride, it could be an outdoor coaster, and they take the whole building of Fire in the Hole down. There's rumours aplenty about what they could do with Fire in the Hole, and I may actually do a separate video on that at some point next year, so stay tuned for that one. But I think it's an interesting one. I think an RMC power coaster would be a very interesting direction to go for Silver Dollar City, and a very interesting direction for RMC as well, because, you know, when RMC was first coming into the scene, there was so, you know, replacing the old track on old wooden coasters with, you know, new steel track, the topper track, or they're bringing the iBox track and they're bringing some steel structure as well, and gradually they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and, you know, convert some of the most classic wooden coasters out there for many different reasons. Rattler at Fiesta Texas, Texas Giant over Texas, the Roar at Discovery Kingdom, Colossus at Magic Mountain. Different wooden coasters, you know, it wasn't just Six Flags though. You had Mean Streak at Cedar Point becoming Steel Vengeance, you had Hurler at King's Dominion becoming Twisted Timbers, you know, and you got the ones from scratch as well. You got coasters like Zadra at Energylandia, and, you know, you had the transformation of White Cyclone at Nagashima Sparland. So, you know, obviously you've got these different takes of RMC, and now we're entering a different direction for RMC, a possible powered coaster in a building in a brand new site at Silver Dollar City, and it would be the park's second RMC after the 2013 Outlaw run. So obviously this is the park's second RMC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the only park, it'll be the only park in the world to have two RMCs in the same park. Well, two RMCs that are not one topper track and one single rail, for example. It's like two of the same track, I mean. Like, it's not like the same two RMCs in the same park, but I mean like two RMCs using the same track in the same park. So, you know, I might be wrong though. Maybe if it's a power coaster indoors, they might be using the single rail track, who knows. Back in September 2021, Midwest Info Guide dropped a bomb of a post on Reddit stating that ground clearing was underway for an RMC indoor powered coaster ride that would open in 2023. It was also suggesting that this would be the replacement for the existing Fire in the Hole coaster. Now, again, you might be sat there, you might be a non-coaster enthusiast, and you're thinking, Chal, what is Fire in the Hole at Silver Dollar City and what's it all about? Well, this opened back in 1972. It's a dark enclosed roller coaster. Now, this was a long electrically powered incline through several different scenes, then followed by a series of 3 drops with powered sections in between. While the powered sections are typical of a powered roller coaster and or dark ride, it is 3 drops that allow this ride to be considered a roller coaster. Now, this is a family edition, and it's got that classic sort of Fireman branding on the building, and basically it will be technically a replacement to this in a brand new building. Now, Fire in the Hole would be retired when this new attraction debuts, citing disrepair / the age of the ride, and by October construction had begun. But then in September this year we got something huge from IAAPA Europe that pretty much confirmed what was going to be happening. They said that Rocky Mountain Construction were working on their first dark indoor coaster, and the early rumour was an RMC powered coaster, which links 2 and 2 together and you get the result. Now, the video that I'm going to put on your screen, Fandabidozi, is from Maynard Mayhem, and he took a video on the Express, and this was all through, this is the completion of the facade of the building. The building had all been constructed. The building went vertical a while back. The building's been constructed. You can see it over the top of some of the attractions as well. So it's a wonderful view from the train. It's also a wonderful view from certain attractions as well. But so that's what's going on at Silver Dollar City, and it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what happens with this. Like I said, I think an RMC power coaster would be really, really good for the park, and you know, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how an RMC indoor powered coaster would work. Now, what about the current Fire in the Hole site? What's going to happen to that? Well, I don't want to make any guesses at this stage, but what I would like to see, and please comment down below if I am way off the mark with this, but I would like to see a proper dark ride inside that building. Not a coaster, but a dark ride in that building, just to help fill that void and fill that particular site, because obviously this new Fire in the Hole 2.0 won't be replacing Fire in the Hole itself, it'll just replace it in the lineup, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with this in terms of future details, the announcement of the coaster, because this is expected for 2023. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, and I can't wait to see the park actually announce this ride. So please do stay tuned for more. Please stay tuned for more information and the announcement and my thoughts on the announcement when the announcement comes out. And obviously let me know your thoughts. What's going to happen to the actual Fire in the Hole building? What is going to happen to the original ride? Could it be a dark ride? Could it be something else? Comment down below. They're just going to tear the whole building down for the old Fire in the Hole and build a new flat ride, like an open ride on that site, outdoors. Comment down below.
Run, boys, run, don't be slow. Fire on the mountain, fire in the hole. Run, boys, run, don't be slow. Fire on the mountain, fire in the hole. Gather your children.